Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Something a little different today. I'm going to be doing a Q&A in celebration of the fact that I've reached 10,000 subscribers. Thank you again, you're all stunning legends. So happy you're here, so happy you enjoy your time here, and of course thank you for all the questions that you submitted on Instagram. I'm going to go through them, pick out a few, pick out perhaps what's most fun, and we'll roll with that because sadly I don't have time to answer all of them. I'm just going to get into it because, you know, why not? Let's start with the classic. How old are you? I am 27. I'm going to be turning 28 next month in December. Okay, I got quite a lot of questions about what I'm studying, what I'm planning to do after I finish studying, what my major is, all those types of things. So I'm going to do a kind of catch-all answer where I just kind of catch you up on my tertiary experiences. I've just done 1 year of postgrad study. This qualification allows me to be a secondary school or high school teacher, so I'm going to be teaching English and media studies, which here in New Zealand is a kind of culmination of cultural media, media products, journalism, online content, all those sorts of things, alongside film study and film production. Now, the reason I was able to do this postgrad qualification is because I already have an undergrad degree. I actually have two. So a couple of years ago now, I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Commerce. I did the corporate thing for a while. I worked the corporate job and my heart was just never in it. So I decided to reroute my life and do something that I actually felt was going to give back and not just make rich people richer. That's why I decided to study teaching. So for my BA, I did a double major, majoring in English, so literature studies, and film, television, and media studies. And then for my Bachelor of Commerce, I did another double major in marketing and commercial law. And then, like I said, followed that more BCom route for a while, worked in the corporate world. No thanks, not there anymore. So I think this leads nicely into the question, what inspired you to become a teacher? I have been surrounded by teachers my entire life. Both my parents are teachers at secondary school and have been since before I was born. They never pushed me toward it or away from it. I was always, I suppose, much more aware of what goes on behind the scenes of a school than a regular young kid, because I obviously got all the goss at the dinner table and I saw the realities of being a teacher and how demanding and draining and difficult it is. So it was never really romanticized for me in that way, but it was never presented as something that I should be wary of or should not do. My parents are incredible people in every way, shape and form. They would never push me to do something or not do something. This was just a particular example of that. And part of me felt as if I might end up in teaching. That was my feeling toward the end of my own schooling, but I wanted to do something else first. I didn't want to spend my entire life in schools and education. I wanted to do something else first, so I'm really happy that I had those few years to experience, you know, that dynamic of a workplace, to do something totally different before I came to the realization that actually in the classroom is where I want to be. I want to be teaching our youth, learning from our youth, uplifting them, encouraging them, supporting them. And obviously it also means that I get to engage in things that I really love, you know, literature, film, all those things, to hopefully stir up passion in other people for those things that I love. What a dream. Like I said, I'm under no misconceptions about how difficult it is. I know that the first year in particular is going to be extremely challenging, so good luck to me next year. A big thing for me was when I was having a bad day at my corporate job, I was just reminded that I'm undergoing all this stress and anxiety and these bad days just to make people money. And that's not something that's important to me at all. I know that in my new path, when I'm having a bad day, when a student's being difficult, when nothing is going right, I can take that step back and say, you know what? You are doing something that society needs people to do. You care about what you're doing. You are helping our next generations. You're doing one of the most important jobs in the world. Not to like high myself up or anything, but teachers make a huge difference to people, so I'm really excited to be part of that. Next question, favorite read of 2021 so far? This is very difficult. I've had a stunning reading year. I think my favorite reread has been Bunny. That's most recent. It's very vivid in my mind. Obviously loved my reread of Normal People as well. Favorite first time read? I'm honestly panicking. Like maybe The Night Circus, maybe The Spanish Love Deception, maybe the Pisces, like maybe literally anything, because I've read so much sunny stuff. Honestly, looking at my Goodreads, this is impossible. Like The Bloody Chamber, thank you. Ariadne, thank you. Oh my god, maybe right now in this moment I would say Ariadne. I'm gonna stop looking because that'll just make me panic at trying to rank them. To be honest, I'm not interested in ranking them, but I will of course do a video at the end of the year talking about all the favorite books and reading experiences I've had. Favorite gothic classic? I mean, that's hard. Off the top of my head, I'm going to do one for the 19th and 20th century. 19th century, I'll say Wuthering Heights. 20th, I'll say Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. One book that I think everybody should read in their lifetime. I really like this question. I'm going to say The Alchemist. Of all the people in my life who have read that book, I do not know a single person who it has not made a humongous impact on. It's short but rich and full of so many ideas. If you need a bit of inspiration and you need a few reminders of what life really is about, read The Alchemist. What's my favorite thing I own? This is definitely up there. Would I ever host my own bunny workshop? Honestly, yes. Let's get freaky. Is there any author you would die to meet at the moment? Probably between Sally, first name basis, Sally Rooney, Mona Awad, and maybe Donna Tartt, because I just feel like she'd be a fascinating conversationalist. Right in this moment, I'm going to say Mona Awad, just because we have a little bit of back and forth, like in the DMs, you know what I mean? And I feel like it would be so fun to hang out with her and like maybe go for a few drinks. Exactly. How do I balance uni with YouTube and reading, etc.? I mean, I would not advise following my patterns of behavior in this regard. I'm a huge procrastinator. I do not start anything until the minute at which I absolutely have to start it in order to get it done. That's after years and years of realizing that I can operate that way and still get good grades. I absolutely prioritize doing all the things that I love. If there's a book I want to read, I'll read the book and then I'll start the assignment that I should have started like 2 weeks prior. Look, it's difficult and I'm not sure that anybody is ever going to nail that balance, or if they do, are going to be able to sustain it. My advice is to figure out how you work best. If you're somebody who needs to be super organized in order to stay afloat, then make that your approach. If you're somebody who can relax and chill until the last minute, good for you. But as with everything, it's all a commitment. You need to prioritize the things that make you happy and deprioritize the things that don't. If you're not enjoying certain things anymore, then maybe they're not for you anymore. You can love something or someone and the time can run out. So don't be scared of arranging or perhaps rearranging your life to accommodate your happiness. What is a book that you can't shake from your system, for better or for worse? Perhaps this answer is a given and a probably widely held opinion, but I'd say A Little Life, just because some of the horrors of that book are very much still in my mind and will randomly pop into my mind. So I don't think I'll be forgetting those anytime soon, but I personally adore that book and I think it is magnificently crafted. I don't know that I'll ever reread it. Perhaps I'll reread around the difficult scenes, and it's not a book that I would ever really recommend to anybody because I would not presume that people are ready for that type of content, but I personally see a lot in it and got a lot from it, and I'm really excited to read more of Hanya Yanagihara's work. Is there somewhere specific you see yourself in 5 years? Not at all. This year especially, I have really adopted the approach of living day to day. You have no control over what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, who it's going to happen to. Live in the moment, enjoy the people you love and all the love that surrounds you, and whatever will be will be. Gotta let it go. Gotta be present. Top 5 favorite books ever. The Great Gatsby, Bunny, Normal People, Song of Achilles, Wuthering Heights. That will be the answer for right now. Who knows if it'll change in 30 minutes. Favorite comfort film? I have so many, especially films from childhood. I love the Mamma Mia's, I love Brooklyn. Comfort films range so much. It could be like a Studio Ghibli, or it could be like a really hard-hitting drama that for some reason is comfortable for me. Like the movie Spotlight, really traumatic, really sensitive subject, and yet for some reason it's a comfort movie for me. I think I'm just insane. David Fincher's movies are all comfort movies for me because he's legally my father. Like, favorite hobbies besides reading? I mean, I would say film is my first love. I love going to the movies, even though I can't right now because we're in lockdown. Oh, disgusting. So viewing, studying, discussing films, very close to my heart, love it. Also really enjoy podcasts. Basically, my hobbies are just an amalgamation of media consumption. And I'm fine with that. I love painting my nails. I love playing Fortnite. I love shopping. I love going to the shops with my mum. Lots of lovely habitual things in my life that I'm really grateful for. I've had quite a few questions about classics and recommendations for beginners and where to start. I'm not going to really delve into that in this video because I want to film a separate video about that soon. So rest assured, my advice, how valuable it will be I do not know, is coming soon. Travel plans. Okay, once the world opens up again for me, I obviously want to go to Sydney, see Chloe. Love to go to Melbourne too. I love it there. I want to go back to Japan and Korea for sure. I want to go back to the UK, obviously Ireland, one of my favourite places ever. Kev's there. I really want to go to Greece, and I really want to go to Egypt, and I really want to go to Russia. I'm not sure that I'll go anytime soon, but I just have a real affection for Russia and its history, so I would love to see that in the flesh. Also very much want to go to Boston, another place I have a huge amount of affection for, and honestly find a Bostonian man's, and of course go to Salem. I'd say those are my sort of most front of mind places. 3 most powerful Taylor Swift songs. My top 3, which is just what I'm gonna give you: August, All Too Well, Long Live. I'll take no criticism. Favorite tea? I love a classic English brekkie. Bit of oat milk, delicious. I do love a peppermint tea. Really refreshing, really soothing. And then iced tea, I love like an iced peach green tea, yum. How did you come about liking classics? I think classics are something that I've always been aware of. My own reading journey with them began when I was relatively young. My mother is a huge lover of reading and books and literature, so she always made sure she was available to walk me through the classics once I was ready for them, and I'm so appreciative of that. To this day, talking about classics with her is just unlike talking about them with anyone else. She just gets it. We just get each other, and we have pretty much the exact same taste. So yeah, I would say it all started with mum. Favorite painting? That's fun. I have quite a few I love, but my favorite painting I actually have a print of. It's here. It's by Renoir. It's called Dance in the City, and I actually saw this painting in person when I was in France, and I fell in love with it, as one falls in love with so many things in Paris. I also really love The Death of Sappho and a painting called Anguish. Favorite class I've taken at university? From my undergrad degree, I really enjoyed a lot of the film and media papers I did. Like I did a paper all about comics, and then we created our own comic at the end. I did a lot of genre papers about science fiction film. I really enjoyed a Gothic theory paper that I did for English Lit. I did 19th century Lit, which I loved. Lots of Jane Austen, Bronte, Wordsworth, all those peeps. Shakespeare on Screen was fun. The more sort of drama oriented English papers were really fun. I had a great time with all my arts papers basically. I've got a couple of questions that are like favorite book of all time, best book you've ever read, all those types of things. You can only say one. I think I would have to say The Great Gatsby. All I will say about it right now is that if you've already read it and you think it's not for you, read it again. And if you haven't read it or you've tried reading it, just know that I tried reading it twice before I actually managed to push through and finish the book the 3rd time I started it, and now it's my favorite book ever. So remember, sometimes it's not an issue with the book or with you, the timing's just not right. Give things another go, and you might find that they speak to you for the first time, or they speak to you in a different way. Astrology big 3: Sagittarius, Sun, Virgo, Moon, Aquarius, Rising. Favorite pens to write with? I love the Muji pens, and I also love the Papermate like quick dry gel pen. Oh, lovely. Lily said, will you ever move to Australia? I mean, never say never. Once you're a qualified teacher in New Zealand, you can actually teach in Australia as well, so never know. Kay said favorite romance book. I think I probably would have to say Spanish Love Deception for contemporary romance. It can maybe share the top spot with fantasy romance, A Court of Silver Flames. This is stunning. I know you like BTS, but are there any other K-pop groups you like? Brackets, where are the women? Okay, so here's the thing. The BTS thing is actually kind of the outlier in terms of my K-pop enjoyment persona. Like, I love the girlies. Literally love them. My all-time favorite, Girls' Generation, Sonoshide, love them with my whole heart. I love Oh My Girl, I love ITZY, I love Twice, I love Red Velvet. So yeah, absolutely, this is a girlies in K-pop household. Favorite Booktube memory, Chloe has asked. In terms of like friendships and life moments, obviously meeting Chloe for the first time was stunning. In terms of the more actual Booktube side of things, probably when Mona Awad personally sent me an arc of All's Well, her newest book. The fact that I got that, and I also got the Beautiful World Where Are You arc, that was the like Booktube realization moment where you're like, oh, I'm really doing this, okay. Favorite romance trope? Honestly, I think I'm just gonna cast the net wide because it kind of encompasses a lot of other smaller tropes within that, and I'm just gonna say like boy obsessed with girl, because the way that can manifest, it can manifest as hate to love, it can manifest as fake dating, like it includes all the best things, and there's just nothing better than like boy falls first, he's obsessed with her, he worships her, and she's like, yeah, good for you, I guess. Oh, exactly. Favorite hair color I've had? That's tricky. I think my favorites are black hair, platinum blonde hair, and pink hair. I'm not sure I could pick a favorite. I think I feel most myself when I have black hair. I had black hair when I was a teenager and when I was really in my formative years, I think, so I always think of myself as someone with black hair even when I was blonde for so long. So whenever I get black hair again and get like a fringe, I'm like, there she is, welcome home. Favorite book series? I mean, the ones that immediately stand out are Cruel Prince, but I mainly just love that series for Jude and Carden. Like The Queen of Nothing is the best book of all time. And then probably, I think actually my favorite is probably ACOTAR, to be honest. Just because ACOMAF and A Court of Silver Flames are two books that will really probably be in my heart forever. Like, they just have something. They are special. They are really special. So Chloe also said, how has your life changed since starting Booktube? The widening of my vision and perspective as to what's out there to enjoy reading. And in tandem with that is being aware of what you are reading and who you are reading from, and making sure you're engaging with a diverse range of voices and doing what you can to uplift those voices. So that's a real standout, just how many things Booktube opens your eyes to in terms of what you're actually reading. Like, so many books that I have loved that I now have on my shelves are books that I've no doubt I would never have even heard of in my entire life, so that's obviously fun. But I mean, at the very top of the list has to be the friendships I've made, which go far beyond the realm of Booktube. That actually leads nicely into another question that I got quite a bit, which is how do you make friends online? And look, there's no one recipe. What I think you need to be conscious of and keep in mind is that 1, you will find your people. 2, in order for that to happen, you really need to be yourself and you need to not force things. It's incredibly transparent when you're on the other side. You can feel people forcing things and feel the, I know this word has negative connotations, but the neediness and the clinginess and perhaps even the clout chasing. It's really easy to tell whether somebody is genuine, or at least it is for me. So find your people, bond over the things that you have in common, the books that you both love, whatever else you both love. When the timing is right and the people are right, it will happen. What's your sexuality? I'm bisexual. If you could only read one book for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think for this I would have to say The Secret History, just because it is so lengthy in terms of both actual page count and then depth, that I can just see it as something I would hopefully never get bored of. Ew, I just realized I did not include The Secret History when I said my top 5 books. Okay, disgusting. Let me redo that right now. The Great Gatsby, Normal People, Bunny, The Secret History, Song of Achilles. Ew, let's pretend that never happened. Now that I've rectified that mistake, let's end on a high note with Kevin's question. What's your Taylor Swift album ranking? Okay, give me like approximately 5 working days to figure this out and then I'll be back with my answer. Okay, I just did a quiz to figure out my answer. That was so stressful. Here we go. Taylor Swift album ranking at this point in time. Let's go from number 9 up to number 1. Number 9, Taylor Swift debut album. Number 8, Folklore. Bit controversial, but though there are songs I love, as an album, not as much. In 7th we have Fearless, so many bangers. 6th we have Red, and then 5th we have Reputation. Those two are probably the most interchangeable in terms of their standing on this list. 4th we have Evermore, love it. 3rd we have 1989. 2nd we have Speak Now, and 1st we have Lover. I will not take any Lover slander. It is the best album with so many fantastic songs. I can't even articulate how much I love it, and Speak Now is such a close second, might even become first one day, because that album is just a miracle. So that's it. There's the Q&A done. Hopefully it was somewhat enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching, and as I said, thank you so much for being here. It's so fun to have a community of so many of you. I see you and I'm grateful. Speaking of seeing you, I will see you in whichever video is coming next. Bye!